Welcome to DFS Insights, where the match behind the match comes to life. I am David Geislinger, and alongside me is David Grant Jr., my cousin and co-strategist. The event up on the block is UFC 300.
With your lineup success as our top priority, this is where David and I will deep dive into what fight matchup we think you should be targeting, what fighter is our best value play or must-play fighter of the slate, and what current underdog fighter has the best chance of winning their fight. We're going to break down the strategy behind our picks and share our insights to enhance your lineup construction.
Nice, yeah. And before we get into it, with a quick overview of this, the card here. We want you guys to go ahead and put, what underdog fight, do you see being the best one in this lineup? Go ahead and drop that in the comments below. And while you're doing that, make sure you do hit that like, subscribe button, and let's get the show on the road. So yeah, second. Video of ours, we get the privilege of breaking down the UFC 300 fight. Card looks amazing, and even better, currently, as of now, all the fighters still remain on the card. No fighters canceled, no as of yet. Obviously, weigh-ins will be this upcoming Friday, and we'll see. Few question marks for me going into that, but. Yeah, the card looks great. I'm going to probably butcher this guy's last name. Pereira versus Hill. You got the light heavyweight belt there. You got Wei Li versus Yao Jiandin for the strawweight. That's the co-main event. And then you got the BMF title, the Bad Mother versus Gaethje and Holloway. So, yeah, 3 title belts going on. And then even going all the way down to prelims and early prelims. There's just, name after name. Yeah, it's insane. Looking forward to, giving you guys, our top plays, our the best value pick, and obviously our underdog fight to help, not only, enjoy watching the fights, but, maybe win some cash doing that too. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to David. He'll give you a quick little rundown here, and then we'll get into matchups here.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of according to the fight odds from DraftKings, from FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, all that type of stuff. Lots of close fights. There's a handful of obviously ones that are pretty lopsided. The biggest one being Bo Nickel. I've seen him now at a minus 2,200, which I have never seen ever, not in UFC betting. The last time I saw something high was when Amanda Nunes was minus 1,700 against Julia Pena, and she lost. So, it's wild to see someone at minus 2,200.
Yeah, I believe his last fight, Nickel, was actually a minus 1,800 versus, I believe it's Woodburn. But that was that dude's debut, and he got rocked as as all the other opponents of Bo Nickel. So
for sure, no, and he looks great. He definitely looks like a great prospect. I'm not hating. I'm just saying that that's just a little disrespectful to any other professional fighter coming in to be, going up against a guy and you're minus 2,200. But lots of there's 3 5-round fights on this card, so that's something definitely to focus on while making your lineups. It's almost like having 2 fights in one, so more opportunity to score more fantasy points. It's about finding out which one of those, or 2, maybe 3 that you want to target. If you're able to fit all 3 in, if that's the smart way to go. That could be chalky. But yeah, I think we could go ahead and just kind of dive in. We're going to start off with what matchup we like the most, meaning we could see either side winning, and whichever side did win would exceed their salary, basically, in the matchup itself. So we can kick it off with that. For me, under those terms, I think a matchup to target on here, the number one matchup is going to be the Justin Gaethje Max Holloway fight for the BMF belt. That has become a pretty big fan favorite, type of event. To me, I'm equally as excited, if not more, to see this fight than any other fight on the card. We got Justin Gaethje, who is just, you could throw everything and the kitchen sink at this guy, and he is not going to go out. He's a fighter's fighter. He'll bite down on his mouthpiece and just take hits and throw bombs. Max Holloway, kind of also the same thing, only he does it with volume and speed. He's got the most strikes landed in the UFC. I believe Justin Gaethje has the most. He's up there with the most. He has more bonuses than he does wins in the UFC. So that tells you every fight that Justin Gaethje is in is an exciting fight, because that means he's getting multiple bonuses in some of his fights. Everyone out there, even the casual fans, know who Justin Gaethje and should know who Max Holloway are. And I see either side of this, Max Holloway's path to victory. I see it being, he's not going to finish Justin Gaethje. There's just no way. There's no way I see that happening. Could I see Max going 5 rounds and hitting him with that volume and pulling off a decision victory? I definitely see that path happening. And with his he's like 7,400, I believe, on DraftKings.
Max Holloway, 7,400.
Yeah, he's 7,400. So I mean, he might even find a way, if this goes 5 rounds, he might find a way to be optimal in a loss, because he might still hit 10x his salary and still have enough strikes if this fight isn't going to go to the ground. So I could see a world where he makes it on even in a loss. So if he wins, he's going to be optimal. Justin Gaethje, usually I'd say he's going to need the finish, but it is a 5-round fight. He's 8,800. I'm glad he's at the 8,800 and not up above the 9K, because it's a 5-round fight. The 8,800 is also a nice salary to still give you movement to fill out the rest of your card. And we all know Justin Gaethje. We pull up his last fights. The last person to knock out Dustin Poirier was probably Conor McGregor the first time, like years ago. So he's coming off that win, which is huge. Beating Fiziev was also huge. That was a 3-round decision. But nonetheless, that was a great fight. I watched an interview with him today about his loss to Oliveira, which Oliveira was the champ at the time. He got a first-round submission loss. He said he learned a lot from that. I believe him. The fight before that was the war with Chandler. I think we all remember that fight. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen. That fight will go down in the Hall of Fame for sure. So it's, and then we go down the line: knock out Tony Ferguson, knock out Donald Cerrone, knock out Barboza, knock out Vic, all in the first round. So, and again, we got Max coming up for 145 to 155. He's only done that one time, and he did it against Dustin Poirier about 4 or 5 years ago, and he lost. So, but nonetheless, I could see taking both sides of this fight. I will have exposure to both sides of this fight. Sorry, that was a little long-winded, but these guys have a lot. There's the accolades that these guys have are just through the roof. So this, as they both and everyone is saying, is like a legacy fight to add to their legacy. I tried to crunch it in there all as quickly and impactful as possible, but that's the fight to focus on for me. What are your thoughts on that, David? And who do you got here for your fight to focus on?
Yeah, no, I like the fight. I like, I think Holloway more for the fantasy potential there. Like, because like you said, if he wins in the 5 round decision, obviously that's more points. If he loses, he is still a viable option there. I do believe, I think, in my personal opinion, I believe that he probably will take it in the decision in a 5 round. He'll probably go 5 rounds and he'll take it in the decision. Looking back, the last 5 fights, he's averaging about a little over 200 significant strikes in those. So it's insane. I mean, against Qatar, he had like 450 significant strikes. Crazy.
So great.
And then we'll actually, see Qatar on this card as well. But yeah, no, like the fight. But yeah, so mine, I'm gonna go with mine is gonna be more like the best value pick for me. Like which one, which fight do I think is going to be the best value play, and that's going to be coming over here to basically the main event. I don't mean to be, just picking the main event, but Mr. Jamal Hill, it's kind of hard. A 7,900 or 7.9K salary. I mean, he technically didn't lose the belt. He got injured and he vacated the belt to give other people, the opportunity to fight for it while he recovered. So he didn't actually lose the belt. I'm going with dude's probably one of the best strikers at that light heavyweight one. He is 12-1. He does have a reach disadvantage of just by an inch. He looks, 7 of his wins have been by knockouts, 5 of them have been by decisions. And I mean, you can look, he doesn't even really try for takedowns. He does have the ability, to, defend, and he's pretty decent at defending if he is taken down. But I mean, landed strikes per minute 7.31, crazy accuracy above 50%. Yeah, it's just insane. Like I mentioned in the previous thing, I do basically a math linear regression to predict the fighters here. And if you do want to see all the fights, I'll be posting that at the end of the video. So make sure you stick around of the results of the math prediction of these fights here. But yeah, so he has roughly a 58% chance to win according to the math. If you're looking back at his, previous 5 fights, 4 wins, loss. He won by a decision, TKO, KO, and then he lost by a TKO. So, yeah, he does. He looks great. And at a 7,900 salary, I think maybe a lot of people might be riding Pereira because he is the current champ. But until he beats Hill, I mean, is he the champ? So
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this fight. Can't say too much. Jamal Hill, I think, in my prediction, is going to put him down probably here pretty quick. I have him, winning by knockout in the 2nd round. So that's my prediction there. So what do you have to say about that bold prediction? And
I definitely like the pick. The only caveat, scary part is that it feels a little early coming off of the injury, the Achilles injury. I did hear, he's like, it's supposed to be a 9-month type thing, but he basically started training and at the 6-month mark, like 3 months early. That could be, again, he's getting the best rehab in the world. And maybe that his body has responded well. I hope, at least this is going to be a striking fight. So at least it's not like his cutting movements and whatnot shouldn't be too much affected by it.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about Pereira's leg kicks.
Leg kicks. Yeah.
And he's deadly with those leg kicks, and then that follow up left. He caught. Can't remember the fight now, but I mean, yeah, it's not just you thinking that the UFC community looking over at the Tapology website over there, 3,200 votes. They got Pereira winning 71%. 89% of that will be by knockout, while only 5% by decision, which I think is pretty good. And then they got 29% think obviously Hill's winning, 88% by knockout, 2% by sub, and 6% by decision. So yeah, no, definitely. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm hoping he's going to be the best value play, because you're going to get not only he's. It's 7,900. The ownership, I think, people are going to be riding, because even though Pereira is only still 8,300, so it's not a huge price distance there, a gap. But at 7,900, Hill is such a contender. Not even really a contender. I mean, he's a champ. He just vacated because he was injured. So, would it be, if he was the current champ and Pereira was doing it, would he be the favorite in this case? But yeah, I'll be worried. That's the one main concern, is that Achilles, and Pereira's freaking leg kicks are insane. That's the biggest concern I have on the fight. So yeah.
Great pick. I will have. I also believe Hill's going to win, and I will be overexposed to Hill than the field for sure. Ownership, salary, like everything that you mentioned fits into that. It's crazy to say that that's a contrarian play, but as you mentioned, it sounds contrarian, and that's wild.
All right, no, we'll move it. We'll move along here. We got a few more picks. We want to try to keep this, not pretty short, because we, got a lot of information to give you guys. But moving on, this will be my top play, the best fight I think is going to be on the card, and it's going to be basically the co-main event here. Zhang Weili versus Yao Xiaonan. The co-main event here, for the belt. Unfortunately, I just think Weili is just insanely too good for this division. She just looks like a beast in all of her fights. Both of her losses have basically come from Rose Namajunas. So other than that, she is an amazing striker. But she does adapt to the fight. So, if they want to wrestle, grapple, she's more than willing to do that. It does look like, according to the math or whatever, she, about a 61% chance to win. Her salary is I think it's the second highest on the slate. No, it's the third highest on the slate. So, I think I'm hoping people, veer off it, because, the whole stigma between women's MMA, and so people typically stay away. But I think Weili, her points, fantasy points she gets in, her matchups, is up there insane. I think this fight she'll end Xiaonan in, the second or the third round, so she'll get those points there. I don't think this will go to the decision. I just think she's way too, so much better than, Jan over there. So the DFS, or excuse me, the UFC community thinks about 3,200 people. 96% of them think Weili is going to win. 30% by knockout, 11% by sub, 51% by decision. And, the 4% who think Jan's going to win, 31% of that is knockout, 13 sub, 56 decision. So, obviously, everybody always has a puncher's chance, but I think that's really kind of the only way that Yao's going to have a chance to beat Weili, or I don't see really any other kind of downfall really in her game. She looks a beast. She's optimized for that weight class. She's just looks like a beast basically.
Yeah.
I don't know too much other words to kind of describe it. She just looking back at the last 3 or 4 matches. I mean, even the Rose fights, Rose caught her pretty good. She was upset about it. I think she did realize a few minutes after that she got caught pretty good, and it wasn't an early stoppage. But for the most part, this is going to be my top play. So, what do you think, and then what do you got?
Yeah. That's this is my absolute lock this play in is
Okay.
Zhang Wei. This is the fighter. We have four fighters above the 9,000 mark. So we got Figueiredo at 9,100, Wei Li 92, Kayla Harrison 93, and Bo Nickel at 95. So, a lot of casual people might just go, oh, okay, I need Bo Nickel for sure at 9,500. And if you do that, you're going to have a hard time fitting in another 9,000 fighter. So I like the fact that she is, down the line a little bit. Um, you know, you just mentioned really everything that I would need to. She's by far the best. There's just no other competition for her in this division right now. She's the strongest. She can not. She's either going to knock you out or she's going to submit you. She does both very well. She can adapt on the fly, and I just don't see, Zhao. Zhao is solid, and she's, I guess, earned her title shot, but it's like we're just at a point where there. I just don't see anyone in that division that really stands a chance, to
Yeah.
be honest. Even when Rose beat her, I'm a huge Rose fan, so I was putting some money on Rose more as a fan. I mean, I'm not dumb. I still played both sides of it, but I did go more Rose. But nonetheless, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, Wei Li is here to run this division for a long time. And yeah, at 9,200, averaging 102 fantasy points out of all of her fights, because when at the 9,000 salary and above, you need over 100 fantasy points for them to be optimal. And I definitely see her making that happen. So 100% with you on that.
All
So,
right, now, here we go.
uh,
So let's see. Hopefully, people in the comments, like we mentioned in the beginning, put their underdog picks. So here we go. Underdog of the slate. Who's that? Who's that guy you're looking at, or woman you're looking at?
yeah, so my underdog on here is going to be Mr. Charles Oliveira. This
Charles.
fight's, yeah, this fight is going to be amazing. He's 34-9, going up against Arman Sarukian at 21-3. Um, I was quite surprised to see Sarukian at this. Right now he's at minus 225 on DraftKings. Um, there has been a little bit of line movement with that because I did see that, like, let's see, DraftKings Charles actually opened at a minus 120 favorite. And again, that's just on DraftKings, and he is now a plus 190 as of this moment. Um, so, all the money seems to be going the other direction now. So it's it's almost like he's technically not an underdog, but really, if all the money has now gone the other direction, he has become the underdog. And he this dude has like 27 finishes. He has the most submissions in the game. Um, it's kind of like the old, this is the old guard with the new guy up and comer. I've liked what I've seen from Sarukian. He's definitely hittable. Uh, you know, I mean, he did knock out Dariush in the first round, but so did Charles. He has a loss to Matisse Gamrot, but that's nothing to sneeze at because Gamrot is also another up and comer in the division. He's also a beast. Um, However, you know, Sarukian has rolled through, all of his fighters. He just his style's crazy, and I just think that if Charles can take that onslaught, he can submit you just in a heartbeat. So, I mean, he also has the knockout power. We've seen the run he's been on. Um, I don't know how to not go Charles Oliveira. So don't get me wrong. I will have both sides of this fight. I will have some Sarukian. Sarukian's at 8,700, but with Charles Oliveira at 7,500, I mean, the odds of this fight, I don't see this fight going the distance. So if Charles can get a finish at 7,500, he'll be on the optimal lineup. So I definitely could see Charles winning the fight and being optimal. And at 7,500, that really allows you to get some of these other 5-rounder and other big fights in there. So that's my underdog play. What are your thoughts on that? And who do you got here for your underdog play?
Yeah, I like the fight. Gonna be, Oliveira. He's a beast. 34 wins, and what I think 34 wins, 31 of them. 10 by KO, 21 by sub, only 3 decisions. So insane. He's only had 1 loss since 2018, and that was to the current champ Islam Makhachev. So, I mean, if that's any indication that he is, not necessarily an underdog, but in this matchup he is, because Sarukian, he's looking pretty good. Obviously, I think he is the younger fighter in this matchup. So, necessarily youth might help him out. A little bit more energy, but Oliveira, he's been in the game, so.
Fought killers. I mean, he's fought.
Yeah, both of them have lost to the Makhachev, the current champ, and they both basically beat Dariush right now in their last fight. So, basically this one's going to be probably setting them up to take on the title again. I'm assuming, or at least in the near future. So Sarukian came out and said he's going to destroy Oliveira in the first round. Obviously, there's a lot of trash talking going on. It's fights. That's what it is. But 8,700. Obviously, I'm going to be looking for the finish. However, at the same time, he does go for quite a bit of takedown. So point wise, there, I like that. And then Oliveira, he does finish fights. So. I don't think if it went to decision, I would like the Oliveira. I would like for him to finish the fight for sure. So yeah, no, that's awesome. I like it. Obviously, for me at least, that matchup's going to be more how the lineup construction's going. But yeah, no, I like it. And then moving on over here to my underdog, and everybody's probably going to be like, "Are you freaking crazy?" I'm going with Holly Holm as my underdog in this matchup. I'm not buying the hype right now. Kayla Harrison, obviously she is, a fighter and everything. I understand that, but just looking back at, a few of her fights in the PFL, they are professional athletes. They are pros. They are, great fighters, but they're not the highest caliber. How am I going to say this gently and not look like a jerk? The highest caliber fighters. So as 16-1, that's obviously that's great. But this is her debut fight, as you can see here up on the screen. She no stats in the UFC. This is her first fight. A lot of people saying that a lot of UFC fighters were scared to fight her. But then at the same time, I've heard rumors that she is now running from the PFL because Cyborg's down there and she doesn't want to fight Cyborg. So don't really know what story to buy at this time. But so knockouts. She does look okay. It's just I don't know. Holly Holm's been around the game. She has been the spoiler in previous matchup, Ronda Rousey, to mention one, mind you, that was so long ago. She is 42, which, is a little concerning to me, but she still looks in great shape. Salary at a 6,900, 6.9K salary, that's incredibly low, and that gives you so many options. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I just said true. You picked a true underdog. Yeah, you picked the, for sure.
So yeah, she's currently at a plus like 340 right now, but I think she's just a better striker. But she's also, been in the game. She's seen everything. Not to mention, Kayla Harrison was cutting weight to make 150 in the PFL. Now she has to cut an additional 15 pounds to drop down to 135. So I'm gonna be heavily, definitely watching, the weigh-ins for this, because I have a feeling that she might not even make weight. And then obviously the fight would probably most likely be canceled. But yeah, I mean, that's insane to cut that much weight to fight into 150, then to cut that much weight again to get here. I'll be looking to see what kind of shape she's in and how that, affects that. If you cut that much weight and everything, the chances of you getting knocked out are increased significantly. The UFC community differs with me. 83% think Harrison is going to take it. Harrison, is going to take it. 7% by knockout, 29% by sub, 57% by decision. 17%, it's a little bit better than some fights. Is Holmes is going to take it. 19% by knockout, and then 72% by decision. So yeah, I'm looking at Holmes. The salary. As the best underdog. I was also, another one was Miller, but I just like Holmes a little bit better in the matchup. So this loss here turned into a no contest. She did get tapped out. She did tap out. It was overturned because the woman she fought popped positive for her ADHD medicine. Bueno Silva, yeah, she popped positive. Mind you, it was like so fine-tuned amount. She even she informed the committees and tried to get waivers and things, so she wasn't, I don't think it affected the fight.
Yeah, if she didn't take it the day of, then
it was like they said in her system, it was like point 0.0000 like 507%. Like it was.
If anything, then it would have hindered her, because I take ADHD medication, and I know that like when you're on it and then you stop taking it, well, those first couple of days you're actually dragging now. I mean, it's an upper. So that if anything, yeah. But hey, great pick. I wanted to mention the current champion right now is Raquel Pennington, and Holly Holm has a win over Raquel Pennington January 18th of 2020. So, I mean, if that tells you anything, it's definitely a great pick here. It's 6,900. I did also, as you mentioned, it's this weight cutting thing is big time. So she claims that she walks around at no higher, her walking weight at 165 pounds. She says that this is Kayla Harrison, that there's a misconception out there that I walk around at 180 pounds or something. So I'm sure it's probably something more like 173-ish, that is her walking weight, which if it is, then that is a whole lot of weight to cut. And yeah, it'll be something to watch. And hopefully, if she does miss weight, hopefully it's only by no more than 2.5 or 3 pounds, because if it's over 3 pounds, some commissions won't let the fight happen. However, if it is only within the 3 pounds, they'll dock her purse, and then the fight can still happen, which would then even be good, because we would know, hey, she had a bad weight cut, and Holly would be even better at that point, be a better pick. So yeah,
right.
Great pick, man.
Nice. You ready to give people here when like we said in the previous video here, we're going to actually create a quick lineup here, both of us basically altering picks here, and then we'll go ahead and submit that in, and let's get into it and start wrapping this thing up here. So I'll let you go first. Who do you want me to add to start this lineup creation here?
I mean, we're going to have to go, because we both agree at this kind of lock of the night. Wei Lee at the 9,200.
Okay.
I think
Okay. Yeah. No,
think
I
start.
agree for sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just see her, yeah,
Uh,
easily taking it for sure. So, I think, well, then I'm going to use my best, value play here. I'm going to go with Hill, to lock in one of the 5 round fights. We actually got the other 5 round fight too, so dip
eh,
in there. But I think Hill's going to, get a finish here in second or
yeah.
third round.
All right. So Wei Lee and I'll add Hill
So we got
here.
4 picks, average 8,200 salary.
So I am going to have to go with. Oh man. Uh, I really like Andrade. Let's see. I also like Cater. I want to do this. I'm going to go. You know what? Let's just go with my boy Charles Oliveira, since I think I'm calling him as my underdog pick, and I think he's gonna. It's the 7,500 and what he can do. Let's throw Charles on there.
All right, Charles, nice, got it. 7,500. That's 3 spots. 8,400. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move up, and I think I'm gonna snake in here. Jalen Turner, dude being 9 feet tall and the division or whatever. I'm just the only issue with this pick is I really hope he makes weight. He failed to make weight to his last 2 fights, but he's a great striker. He has finishing potential, so I do like him. Obviously, if the fight happens. So 2 picks left, 8,250 salary roughly remaining per pick.
All right. So, man, we're going to want to pick between the big boys here with Alexander Rakic and Yuri Prohaska. It's tough because Rakic hasn't fought in 2 years. Is my main scare. Man, although I like Cater too and Max. See if we do go Max, and yeah, see, this is tough because now it's like to go Justin Gaethje doesn't let us do. Yeah, it's
If we go
7,700.
Gaethje, we're left with 7,700.
I mean, if we did that, we could go Jim Miller. I mean, I'm not. I'm just trying to think out loud. It's either because I mean, it's kind of. I like Gaethje, or if we went Max Holloway, because we could see that happening, and then now we're at 9,100, and then we could go Figueiredo, and I see Figueiredo definitely finishing Garbrandt. Huh. Again, I know there's weight issues with him too,
Yeah.
uh,
I
but
like Sterling at 84 versus Qatar here. Sterling's pretty good. He takedowns are pretty insane. He did lose
yeah,
recently to O'Malley for the belt. So um, I do like him. It's point wise, so that's an option. That would give us Prochekov as the last slot.
so let's see. Um, that would give us. Oh, I see what you're saying. So if I took off
So if we went,
Holloway,
yeah, if we went Prochekov, we can then do
yeah,
basically up to even Lopez, but Sterling
oh
there.
yeah. So nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that a
Okay,
lot.
so yeah, there you go. There's the lineup together there. So Waylay, Hill, Oliveira, Turner, Prochekov, and Sterling. Yeah, so feel free to enter that in. I'll be entering it in. We'll be entering it in there. So yeah, and please make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be probably doing a following video after the weigh-ins, just to, if any big news comes out of that, just to kind of give it to you, and then also to, basically either, re-emphasize our picks, who we like based on, the weigh-ins, because that tells a whole new story. Obviously, this is getting the picks out now, basically, based on previous fights, how they currently look, and things like that. And yeah, earlier in the video, I did mention I'll give you basically that math predictions here. So if you look up on the screen, These is basically what math thinks the fight is going to pan out to be here. So it looks like, yeah, Hill's winning, Waylay, Holloway, Turkey, Sarukian, Nickel, Rashek, Sterling. Don't you have to ignore the Harrison Holmes? There's no Harrison data to calculate there, so that one's kind of a wash. Sodiq there, and then Turner, Andrade, Green, and Figueiredo. So yeah, if you like math, so far I've been using it for at least the last five fights, hitting at roughly about 60, 70, 65% ish. When the fighters' data has been pretty good. So yeah, use that as a reference if you like. And with that, I'll send you over here to David, and he can send you off here.
Yeah, hey, man, can't wait for this fight card. It's going to be amazing. As David mentioned, we may drop another video after the weigh-ins on Friday, just a small one, just as an update. But if not, we got NBA playoffs here right around the corner. Stay tuned for that. We'll be dropping all sorts of videos for the FanDuel single game, NBA playoffs. And again, yeah, we're now here in the MMA community, transitioning into doing some MMA as well here on DraftKings. Man, can't wait for this weekend. Can't wait for these fights. I hope everyone out there, has a good time. Good luck to everybody. And please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please leave in the comments, who's your favorite fighter? Why, who's your favorite pick? Who's your favorite upset? We love to hear, anything that you guys have to say. So good luck out there. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you on the next one.